I don't know who you are. I just hate you. I just know for a fact I hate you.
I hope
and
you're
your
late.
family. Yeah, I hope you're late. You know what? I hope you hit a pothole and you have to pee real bad and a little bit comes out.
Oh my God. That's
Dude, yeah.
diabolical.
I hope you get home. Safely.
All right, we've been hanging out too much.
Hello, and welcome back to Time Well Meant, the podcast where you can have your turkey and eat it too. If you're joining us for the first time, or if you're coming back to go on this journey with us again, we like to talk about a number of different things. We like to talk about the goings-ons of the internet. We like to talk about video games, and we like to talk about mental health and how that affects our personal lives. I'm Silas, and I'm joined as always by a man that I am extremely thankful to have in my life. Kirby, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How about you?
If I hadn't destroyed the original intro, I'd probably be doing a little better. But other than that, I'm doing really well. I'm going to
give you a slight critique, but I'm not going to tell you till the end of the episode. That way you don't cut it and make us start all over again.
God. God.
No,
for those of you who don't. Okay. For those of you who don't know, we record these kind of in one take. I don't want to do any extra editing. I will if I need to, but we do this all in one take. I want it all to flow, even though sometimes it does flow and I just ruin it.
And I just like to make him work, so I'm gonna go take a piss real quick.
Yeah, you bastard. Oh man, so we're coming at y'all. It's a little different for us, okay? Normally we record these every 2 weeks, and I say the same classic thing of, man, a lot happens in those 2 weeks. But it's a little different this time because only a week has passed since we have sat down. For y'all, it will have been 2 weeks. Thanksgiving will have passed. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's just a little bit different time for us. If anything happens within that week, I think at some point during the show, we might make a few predictions of what we think is going to happen throughout the week. And then if those predictions come true, you have to worship us as all foreseeing gods, I think.
My first prediction, Mike Tyson knocks out the turkey and saves the pilgrims.
He shows up at like the big parade in New York and like fights the inflatable.
The giant inflatable turkey. He's like, I'm not losing this one.
Oh God. Yeah, oh man. That
There's
fight
some
was
joke to be made about like Jake Paul being a turkey, but it feels lazy. Keep going.
Okay. Say that was one of the things that we the only week has passed, but during that time there was some stuff that happened. We went to a LAN party. I actually saw Kerbedeus Rex in person. That was crazy. That was wacky.
I met my quota for the year because I get to physically see this guy in person twice every year. That's the limit.
Yeah.
So this was it. Actually, that's such a lot. You're coming to my house on Saturday.
Literally, I was like, I'm coming over this weekend. So yeah. Yeah, no, I don't get out much. I don't know what it is, man, because I have a very... Actually, no, I know what it is. It's really funny because the other night I was sitting around with my girlfriend and her family, and we were talking about this, and I was talking about how charismatic my dad is. My dad's an extremely charismatic guy. Everywhere that we go, he seems to know everybody. I don't know how this happens. And I mean, it was one thing when we lived in a small town, and we'd go out and of course, everyone just knows everybody. So that was normal. But when we've lived in like a larger city and like we go to like Walmart where how can you find anybody that I mean, every now and then, yeah, it's like on an occasion you run into. No, every single time we go to the store, we go to wherever. If I go anywhere with him, he just happens to know the people that are there. Blows me away every time. A very charismatic guy. And I think that I got a lot of my charisma from him. I think that I got that from him. But then on the other side of that coin, I feel like I got a lot of my like social anxieties from my mom, because my mom's the type of person who she can be by herself and she's fine. And I'm kind of the same way, where like I can hang out, I can play games by myself, I can just hang out, be by myself, be in my own space. And just be alone, and it doesn't really bother me for and I can do it for extended periods of time, and it really doesn't bother me. So I think I got kind of the best of both worlds in that, or the worst of both worlds. I can't tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if the combo is good or bad.
There's something about like the opposites attract, like that old saying. Because my
Hmm.
grandma and my grandpa were very similar. My grandpa was, if he met a new person, it was going to be a new best friend for him. Like he just was the friendliest guy. Wanted to talk to everybody about everything. And my grandma was much like yourself. Like, leave me at home. She just wanted to stay home with a book. That was her thing. Leave me home. I'm gonna read
Yeah,
my book.
yeah.
And she would go out, you know. And when I got older, she told me how, like me having school functions as a kid gave her a lot of anxiety. And she's like, but I gotta power through it for the little guy. So she'd take me to like, I don't know, like school plays or something that I did, like, you know. But grandpa, no, he was always ready to go. Hell yeah, I'm coming. Oh, dude, I remember he came to career day like 3 times, dude. He was a postman and he would
Oh
always
yeah.
just come talk about the post office.
Right on, right on. Yeah, I don't know what that is, man. It is funny how kind of opposites attract. Like my girlfriend and my girlfriend's an even more of like a homebody than I am, which is kind of insane. Like I'm willing to like go out and go to the store and you know, I don't mind getting out of the house. For her, she's like, no, I'm gonna order my groceries with the money that I worked hard for. Like, fuck that. If I don't have to go anywhere, I'm staying home. Yeah, obviously she's still like she loves going to concerts and doing that sort of stuff. And she can go to concerts by herself, which has always kind of been weird to me. I don't think I've ever been to a concert by myself. Um, but
That just means that the
she
right
enjoys it.
band did not come to
Yeah.
town and all your friends are being bitches that weekend. That's what that means. I think
Yeah,
I've gone
yeah.
to 2 concerts by myself and that was the cause.
Oh, she's been to plenty. I'm not a really big. I think there was a certain period in my or a certain point in my life where I was just like, man, I just don't want to like be in like a big crowd or like be like squished up next to people or like I don't know. I just need my personal space, I guess. Like it's the same way with like festivals or anything like that, like outdoor festivals. Like I see those events happen and it just does not look appealing to me. I don't think it's a matter of like all of the people. I think it's the setting and like what people are there to do. I don't know. It's just weird. Like I think unless it's something that like I would be like I don't think I would have fun going to like Comic-Con or something. I think that a convention like that would be like too busy. But I don't know. Like we do QuakeCon every year, and that's like right at like the perfect limit. You know what I mean? I'm honestly really glad when there's not a lot of foot traffic around. You know, the past couple of QuakeCons have been pretty chill for
Yeah.
obvious reasons, but I don't know.
That's kind of interesting because I mean, I don't think that if you told somebody, hey, do you want to go stand outside for 10 hours in 100-degree heat and spend $40 on a concert ticket and $10 on a bottle of water? Don't say concert, but just go to an event and you're going to be outside. And like, if you describe it in that regard, it almost sounds like any person would be like, that sounds terrible. Crammed
Right.
in all these people, $10 water, parking, you know, you name it, all the cons that really go with it.
Mhm.
But then you say, but your favorite band is going to take that stage and play for 25 minutes. And I'm like, fucking there, let's go.
Damn.
I'll deal with it all.
Yeah, I think there's, and I don't know if it's because I'm like getting older, but there are a couple groups that I like if they, you know, if they were in town and it was like I had the opportunity and the money and everything lined up, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, it's funny too because like my brother just got back from a festival and like the pictures he got and everything looks cool. It was a festival out in, I think it was California, and it was a Mad Max themed festival. So everyone's dressed up in like the Mad Max gear. People have all these like custom made cars. They're out in the fucking desert for like 3 days or whatever. And it was just like he, you know, all the pictures that I saw on Facebook, and he sent me pictures of like his outfit that he was wearing. He had 2 different versions. He had one for night and one for day. Because obviously when you're in the desert, it's hot as fucking balls.
Yeah.
But no, it's Chris, actually, my brother Chris, that you've been talking about music with, funnily enough. And who watches
Shout
our
out, Chris.
podcast. Thanks, buddy. Shout out Chris. But yeah, he went to that. And I was just like, man, I would never. I was like, all I could think about was like, I would never go there with the intention of like, yeah, I just want to hang out in the desert. Like places like Burning Man or something like that. Those always just sound so appealing. Anytime anyone's like, let's just go to a desert. I'm just like, why?
It's funny you say that.
Thanks.
We just bought tickets to go to Las Vegas. Quite literally 2 or 3 days ago.
Damn. There
Going
you
to
go.
the desert.
Going to the desert. And the thing is, like, I've been to, like parts of Arizona, New Mexico, and it's like Southern California that are all desert. Sucks. Hate it. I don't, more power to you. I don't see the appeal.
Us going to Vegas is a whole nother thing, but
Oh yeah, Vegas is.
do you have any sort of is there something that you would do just to say you did it? Because so a big thing for me,
Okay.
it's the largest metal festival in the world. It happens in
Oh shit.
Germany once a year.
Mhm.
They shut down this like airport. It's a literal airport. You're standing on the runways, these concerts. And
Oh shit.
yeah, it's always been a thing, man. I'd love to go. And that one is not even so much like I want to go to see a certain band. That's the one where I just want to go stand outside in the heat all day in Germany that day just to fucking say that I went to Wacken Open Air, the metal festival.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if there's something in particular that I'm like, yeah, I want to do this just to say that I've done it. I know that like I've wanted to like make the trip to Australia. I don't think I would want the flight. Same with like Japan. I think I would absolutely despise the flight. One thing about like traveling, like I've traveled, days by train, but the one saving grace about the train is you can get up and kind of walk around and walk through the train. If you get bored of being in your room or you get bored of being in a certain car, get up and walk around, right? You're kind of stuck on this long metal tube, but at least you get the opportunity to kind of move around. I think with a plane, you're so much more limited with that. It's very unappealing to me. But at the same time, I would really love to, and it doesn't have to be for like any particular event. Like I think I will say, I think maybe going to Comic-Con like once or going to like TwitchCon once, that sort of thing would be really interesting. I would do that like the one time and be like, yeah, I've been before, and then get to say that I've gone. Um, I would like to go to like PAX or something like that at least once as well. But at the same time, like I'm not super motivated to go and do anything like that. It just doesn't really appeal to me. And I don't know if that's something to do with like the fact, because I don't mind big crowds. I just can't stand them for super long. Like when we went to the state fair, that was kind of the thing where as soon as it got really packed, I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like we've seen enough. We got to get out of here now. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't have a good bucket list or something.
You don't have a bucket list at all?
No, not really, because I've done a lot of the stuff that I think that I would want to do. There's only
so
like
you're just
one...
ready to die.
Yeah, I'm ready to get on my way out. No, there's like, I mean, there's certain things that I definitely would like to do. Certain like the underachievers, I would love to see them live, at least once. I would love to, like I said, go to Australia, Japan, do a little bit of international traveling. I would like to go to Europe at least once. And I think that's really it. Like, I don't have I guess if I do have a bucket list, it's not a really long one. It's like mostly travel outside of where I've already been. And then just like see the underachievers. And then beyond that, it's like, what else do I need to do? You know what I mean? I don't know. Get married. That's on the list of things to do, but I don't know.
So I'm just like an extremist. Even just hearing your list, I'm like, I could make that better. You're going to wait for the underachievers to do a world tour and you're going to travel with them. I'm like,
oh man, I don't know.
Got big aspirations, I guess. I'm going to go to Germany. I'm going to go to Wacken one year. I sure as hell am. And I gotta somehow, some way get there before I'm too fucking old to throw down in the pit.
Oh yeah. Cause that's gotta be a gigantic pit. That's gotta be like once you're in that pit, you're in that pit.
Dude, that's the one where there's just so many people and you're so far away from the stage, you just got to crowd surf to move like half a mile and get closer to the stage. Just take me away, people.
Yeah. God. I don't know, man. I just, too many fucking people. Too many fucking people. I remember seeing like, I used to watch a lot of like, YouTube videos about like the big concerts of like AC/DC at Donington or something like that. And like those like massive, like just people like as far as the eye can see, And I used to think like, man, that's so cool that they're like there. But at the same time, like I like fast forward to now and I'm like, I would not want to be in that fucking, like, I'm the type of person who's like, what is parking like in that sort of situation? How are like people commuting there? What, like, I can't imagine the hotel stay and like the prices that that's like where my mind is right now.
That's the adult in you thinking about the logistics.
Yeah.
You have to indulge your childlike heart and just think, that's so cool.
Yeah. I do still think it's cool, but it's really not for me. I think that I have to be in the right, a lot of what I do in life, it's like I have to be in the right mindset to do it, which has definitely hurt me in the past. Like it's definitely put a hindrance on different life experiences where I've said no to things that I could have said yes and maybe had a good time, but I said no because I was like, I'm not comfortable with it and I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
This is such a perfect transition to what I wanted to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I assume this happens to a lot of people. I don't think I'm any unique creature here. Between my group of friends and my wife, you and I were just talking, my dad, whatever, whoever I know, you frequently get recommended everything in the world. You talk to your friend, he's like, you got to check out this new band. You talk to somebody, oh, you should go check out this new restaurant. You set your phone down for 10 minutes and your wife sends you 18 TikToks to watch sometimes, and I've noticed, especially when it comes, this was sparked by the TikToks and shorts and things. I just ignore that shit. Dude, it just stacks up at this point. I'm sorry, everybody. If you send me like all these, I'm just not going to watch them. It takes time, and that little screenshot doesn't look that interesting to me. And there's definitely been some ones specifically with my wife where she's like, oh, you didn't fucking watch it. And she makes me watch it, and it is hilarious. And I'm like, damn, I should have watched that. That would have brightened my day, but I said fuck that instead. And also, it's a big thing with music. I'm not a complete metalhead elitist, but most people will tell you that is my strong preference. So if you tell me go check out this pop song, there's a larger chance that I'm gonna say nah. Movies, dude, that's the thing. Like, movies just don't always grab me. So people constantly tell me, "Oh, you never seen this movie? You gotta watch this. Oh, this is coming out. It's gonna be so good. All this." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of had the thought of like, what am I potentially robbing myself of? And how do you get around that? How do you solve that problem aside from inserting more time into the day?
I don't know. I know that when I get, like if I get sent a video, the first thing I do is like, all right, how long is this fucking thing?
Yep.
If it's 2 minutes, that's fine. With TikTok, what I do, at least this is my solutions, I let them build up. And with the TikTok notification thing, it has a counter. So it'll tell you. And so what I do is I go in and I clear any other notifications. Like I repost a lot of stuff on TikTok. So like literally all you have to do is go into the notifications and it just clears like everything. Like if somebody mentioned you or something, whatever, it clears all that automatically. What it doesn't clear is messages that have been sent to you. Right. So what I do is I just go in and I wait until that number hits 100. And then once it hits 100, I know I could spend like an hour and a half just like cruising on TikTok with all these TikToks that have been sent.
With TikToks that have been curated by your friends just for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's even better than a For You page.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. And it's always like the best shit. It's a combination of like, because the most TikToks I get sent are from our friend Ramsey and my girlfriend. And so the combination just becomes like some of the sweetest TikToks combined with some of the most wacky and hilarious. It's insane. I love it. And that's what I do every time. Like I don't, and I've told them both, I feel like I'm not going to watch your shit until I have a nice, good chunk of TikToks to watch. Cause I did do that. I did that where like every single day I would go through and like, okay, I'm going to watch every video that you send. If you sent me something, I'm going to watch it. And I had a system down where like, I would like the TikToks. That way I know that I've watched that. So then I would scroll up to where the last liked one is. And then I'd go through and watch them all. Right. I don't know, but with like music and stuff, I'm actually very willing to check out music, and I'll just throw it on kind of in the background for whatever I'm doing, because I'm the type of person where like I'm very hungry for new music. If I can get a new artist that I like, you know, a lot, like the Underachievers was recommended to me by a friend, and I was like, oh shit, this is amazing. Got super into their discography and have been following them now for, you know, 10 plus years. Um, you know, I feel like all of the music that I really enjoy now are either random finds or have been recommended to me. And I'm always just more hungry, like, you know, give me more, give me more. Like I'll look for anything that I like. And I never know what I'm gonna like because you know, my tastes are kind of all like ever evolving. Movies and stuff I'm a little less, you know, I'm a little bit more
Open.
wary. You know, I have to have some interest in it. The moment that someone tries to like say, "Oh, you should watch this horror movie," immediately I go, "I'm not going to. I'm gonna pretend that I'm interested, and then I'm just not gonna watch it because I have no desire to watch anything scary. I'm a big bitch. I don't like being scared, and I'm not gonna watch your scary movie. The only time I watch scary movies are with my girlfriend, and I hate it. She knows I hate it, and but I do it anyways because I love her. Um, and it's the same with like TV shows, man. Like I have to like have an interest in it. I'm not going to commit to watching multiple seasons because I have a very like addictive personality with that type of stuff. We've talked about SVU. I just hit season 10. Like I'm watching that fucking show.
Damn, you watched a season
Um,
since last week.
yeah, yeah. Dude, I grind that show. I love it too, man. I Some of those episodes are getting kind of crazy now. Um, but yeah, it's just what I do. Obviously, I burn myself out. Like I did that with House, where I watched like 3 or 4 seasons in a row, just all of it, and then kind of got burnt out, which is like, all right, I don't want to watch this shit anymore. Um, but yeah, I have to. It has to really hook me, and it has to really grab me. You know, whatever you're recommending for like media wise, that type of media. Um, you know, and sometimes it's always like the most random recommendations that are like the most fun, but I don't really know if there's like a good way to sift through. I think what you talked about, like, oh, that thumbnail or like whatever, that didn't catch me. I think that's very important. Like that the initial first impression didn't catch me, and so because of that, you know, I don't know. I think another thing too is like if you're passionate about it, if you explain it to me in a way, it's like like this is why. Like if you go, oh, you should check this out. This is really cool. I'm a lot less inclined to being like, I really love this band, and here's a list of reasons why. And if you give me this list of reasons why, like fucking Lamb of God, I was so much more interested in like listening to, and I had heard a couple Lamb of God songs, but I'd be so much more like interested in listening to Lamb of God based on everything that you've told me versus like if you went, oh yeah, I really like Lamb of God, you should check him out. You know what I mean? Passion behind whatever you're introducing to me, I think, makes the difference as well. So
That's a very valid point. I think the source is a big thing. You know, like
mhm.
your brother, for example, we're just talking about him. If he recommends me a band, actually he just recommended me a band earlier and they were pretty damn good.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, if you know someone has similar tastes to yours, it's easier to
Mm,
accept that recommendation.
that's a really good point too. Yeah, I think you know, like anytime my girlfriend and I, we just don't recommend each other music because we have very opposite music tastes. There's a couple of songs that um I'm like, okay, I like this, or I've listened to it enough times that I'm like, I can stand this. There's some of her music where I'm like, I can't do this. I legitimately, I don't know what the fuck this is. I can't listen to it. Like, and I don't know if it's just like, I don't know why, you know. And I try really hard not to like shit on her music or anything, but I'm just like, I can't listen to whatever this is right now. Um, we were driving home the other day or I say from a couple weeks ago from the pumpkin painting party, funnily enough.
Hell yeah.
And there was some song that came on, and I was like, we need to turn this off. I will let you listen to whatever you want. This is not this. I can't listen to this song. I don't know what it was that just set me off. But yeah, she and I, and any of, I try and like introduce her to music. None of it sticks. None of it sticks. So I don't know. I think, yeah, the, who you're introduced to the media and whether or not you have similar tastes definitely makes a big difference. I think that makes a big difference because there's a lot of there's a lot of music that I don't like that my girlfriend has introduced me to, but there's movies and other media that she's introduced me to that I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Movies in particular, like there's a couple horror movies that I would have never in my life watched that since watching them I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Or I've like explored different movies. We watched this movie called Mad God together because I knew that she was into horror movies, and it looked really interesting to me initially, and so it was something that we kind of like got to share together, and it was a really weird and odd experience, but it was just, it was cool. um but yeah, I don't know how you really explore and find what to explore, if there's a secret sauce to that sort of thing or not. I don't know.
Somebody tell us the sauce.
Someone give us the sauce, please.
So something that you'd said, if you Silas were to send me a song and be like, I love this, you should listen to it.
Hmm.
I feel like I am required to like pay this song some respect because
Mm.
my dear friend Silas recommended it to me. So what you said is, well, I'll just throw it on in the background. And like for me, that's unacceptable. I
Mm.
need to I
You have
need
to
to
like
hear this.
focus. Okay.
Yeah. So then I think it becomes a thing. I probably just psych myself out like, it's gonna take me all day to listen to this 3 minute song. Fuck.
I know that in the past we've talked about, um like when you're listening to something in the background, it kind of takes your focus away.
Yeah.
Is
Fair
that what,
head.
do you think that was all music? Is that like,
If it if I find it even the slightest bit interesting or good, it'll pretty much consume me. Unless there's a lot of music out there with no lyrics that my mind is just like, this is chilling music. We don't have to
right,
focus on
right.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's not a lot. I think unless I have like the music video up, a lot of times I can just have music on in the background and it doesn't bother me at all. I can do whatever. I work or play video games or whatever. Does not bother me. Like the only thing I can't do is edit, but that's because I have to fucking listen. You know what I mean? That's like, beyond that, I can do whatever whatever I please. And that also works with like commentary videos. Like I've been watching a lot of we were just talking about them, the Outdoor Boys. And that YouTube channel has been one that like I can throw that on in the background and then like play Battlefield or do research or whatever I need to do to fucking prepare for anything or whatever. I just do whatever I need to do, like have them on one monitor, do other stuff on the main monitor, and I can just go about my day, right? Like that doesn't bother me at all. And it doesn't really take a lot of my focus away. At least I don't think. Um, and same with music, and I don't. I'm curious as to like, because I have ADHD, and I don't think that, but I don't think that that's like, I don't think that would affect it, or maybe it does.
Like for me,
Hmm. I
because
guess.
it's not everything. If I'm working, I can listen to like bands I like and stuff. But gaming, no music while I'm gaming, which I know blows a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and we had this conversation too at the LAN party about like when I go to sleep, I throw a YouTube video on every
Yeah.
single time. And that's completely normal for me. It's like, but the thing about it is, I won't throw anything on that's new.
It
I
has
have
to
like,
be something that you've seen and that you know already.
yeah, yeah. There's a couple creators that have different series that are, like I can't watch any of the Outdoor Boys stuff because I haven't seen any of that. I haven't seen all that. Once I watch through the playlist, I can be like, okay, I can throw this on in the background. And there's a couple different playlists and a couple different creators that, yeah, I've seen their stuff. I mean, I can quote it word for word, and it's like, because I've just seen it so many times. The first episode of Will Burger's Oblivion playthrough, I can quote that probably word for word because I've thrown that on so many times. And I'm usually awake through the first episode, and then by the time the second episode hits, I'm passed out. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of how it goes. But I've always, yeah, I've always kind of done that. Well, I say that I've always had some sort of noise when I go to sleep. You know what I mean?
I remember being pretty young, and for whatever reason, my parents thought it was a good idea to put a TV in my room, and I would just fucking watch TV all goddamn night. If that TV was on, I wasn't sleeping. That was kind of where I started to learn about myself. Like I need quiet if I'm gonna sleep. Sometime if obviously I'm super fucking tired, I'll pass out. But on like a normal night, we need some quiet.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I guess everyone's just kind of different with that sort of thing. Because I do know people who are like, man, it has to be complete darkness. It has to be, no noise, whatever. I can sleep through. I've literally slept through a tree falling on my house. That's like I'm out when I'm out. You know what I mean?
Where
I
did
just
it
I
fall on
sleep.
your house in relation to you?
It was so um it was one room over or but diagonal. It was like so the way
Across
that
the
the house
hall?
was ye I mean not technically. So the way that the house that we were in at the time, this was when I was younger. I was like I don't know, 10 or 11. Um the way that the house was set up is my room was right here. Fuck no,
This is
no
great
the
for
people
audio
that
listeners.
the audio listeners, you have no clue.
It's
The
fine, man.
the the room is basically catty cornered.
I
Essentially, when
see.
you walked out of my room, you were in the kitchen, which is weird. It was weird how this house was set up. Yeah, I don't know how
That's
the fuck
lit.
that it was crazy. My room led into the kitchen, and then there was another bedroom. Like you had to walk through the kitchen, through my bedroom, into another room. I don't know. It was so weird. This house was so weird. But catty cornered to that. So essentially, you had like three doors all right next to each other. You had one, or you had the door that led out of my room, and then right as soon as you were out of my room, you were in the kitchen, and then when on the right was like a door to kind of a half patio kind of thing, and that's where the tree fell. The tree
The
fell like on an
smoking
awning that was
patio.
connected to that. It didn't like break through the roof or anything, but it like crashed on the awning and like destroyed the whole awning. Um, so I mean, I guess it wasn't right next to, but I like, dude, it woke my mom up. She was like, "How did you not hear that?"
Yeah.
It was insane, and I'm like, I don't
Just,
know.
I imagine you walk out of your room the next morning. Like, what happened there?
Yeah, yeah. Because dude, she was like kind of freaked out, and she didn't wake me up because she was like, "All right, well, I guess if he's asleep, he's asleep." But dude,
Let the boy dream.
I sleep through anything. I could sleep through a tornado. I'm like those old cartoons, like tornadoes picking somebody who who's like in their bed, still in the bed, gets like gets swept away. That's me. I'm the one who's still in bed when the tornado is sweeping me away for sure.
I need a little animated gif of that, like your head superimposed and it's spinning away.
Oh God, yeah, dude. Every single time, I don't know what it is.
Speaking of, I recently tried to go to sleep in a scenario that was difficult.
Yeah,
At the LAN party on the first night,
yeah,
our buddy
yeah.
Kevin had those two friends over. Coolest guys, man. Love those guys. But man, at like 4 a.m., I said, all right, I need to go to bed.
Yeah,
The couch is right there. All right, I guess I'm taking the couch. That man just kept telling stories. He had
yeah,
stories.
He's talking. He's talking.
And
Yeah.
he has that like naturally like deep projecting voice,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That like fills the
Mhm.
room. But like
For sure.
at least twice. He said, all right, I gotta get out of here. I gotta dip.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm
was
on the
so
couch
funny.
like, yeah.
It was so funny because every time the conversation would stop, it would just start up again. And I think that's like two extremely sociable people with Kevin and him, like just
Yeah,
like
it is.
coming together, and they're like, "We're gonna talk." And even like on the way out, they was just like they talked from where they were at like within the LAN party to then the front door,
And
and
continue
then they
talking.
like came back, and then they went back out, and it's like, oh my God, all right. Yeah, there was a certain point where I kind of checked out, where I was like, all right, I'm playing games now. Yeah, I would chime in every now and then, but it was clearly an A and B conversation. I wasn't about to see myself in, you know what I mean?
Dude, that LAN party was awesome, dude.
That's great. That's great.
So we got there like after work hours Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And as is tradition, we had internet issues just because everybody's booting up and setting up,
Yeah.
and we're
Well,
unprepared. We're unprepared fucks. So literally everybody gets there. Then we look around and go, so where do we set this up at?
Yeah.
We didn't
It
have
was
tables, cables, nothing set up.
It was so funny too because Kevin was more worried about the power, and it was the internet that we had the issues with.
Yep. Not a single
Um,
power issue.
Yeah, the whole time we're trying to watch the Tyson the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. The biggest downer of that first night was missing Mike Tyson's ass.
We didn't see the ass. We didn't even know that there was
didn't know.
ass until the next day.
Yeah, we had
We
no
call
clue.
ourselves podcasters.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? Yeah. It was a good land. Lots of food. I definitely the first night. I feel like even I had heartburn the first night after eating because I brought food, not realizing that Kevin B
That
was
there
gonna
was
be a
food.
gracious host and fucking just make food. And then
Did
I
you make-
had some of the stuff that he barbecued or cooked on the grill, and then. But I feel like from that moment on, I just had heartburn throughout the whole fucking thing. Like I was like, oh my God, Jesus. because it
you
was
not
like
have your
hamburgers
Tums?
and hot dogs and pizzas. No, I had my tummy mints, but that was
Oh,
about
that's
it.
right.
I didn't.
That's right. I
Yeah,
had my
yeah.
Tums with me if you needed them, dude.
I know.
We're
I
brothers
know.
in arms in the heartburn
Hell yeah.
war.
Yeah, yeah. And heartburn, stomach issues is always something. But yeah,
But
that's cool,
man,
man.
dude, the
Go
thing that
ahead.
I wanted to say is that so we're getting there, we get all set up. We're having little internet issues, but it's not a huge deal. We're working it out. The Mike Tyson fight's going on, and Netflix is shitting the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
But one of our friends pulled up another website. It was crystal clear HD, not a
Yeah.
bit of buffering.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. Uh,
Ah,
I don't know what was going on with Netflix. I think the combination of Netflix and the internet issues, it all compounded into just a because like we would see like parts of fights
and it would
and it'd be like,
freeze and
this is
buffer.
crazy, and then it would, everything would freeze.
At one
in the
point, it
classic
froze,
sense.
and it was just the most close up of that woman's like eye hanging
Yeah.
open.
Dude, her third eye open. It was wild. That was yeah. It's funny too because like I'm not a super blood sports kind of guy. I'll watch highlights from like MMA fights or boxing fights. I think I talked about this a little bit at the LAN party that I'm not, and I might have talked about this last time on the podcast.
I think we
I'm not
touched
a
on it.
huge like boxing or MMA fan, but I do like when fighters or when aspects of fighting has like an interesting history to it. Learning about how a fighter developed their style or the history behind a fighter, the kind of the stories behind it. I think like Muhammad Ali is a really good example of like
Dude, I've
like
been
the
going
Rumble
down.
in the Jungle and the
Yes.
Thrilla in Manila, like those sorts
Dude.
of like huge, impactful fighting events are always really, really cool.
Literally yesterday and today, I think I just popped on YouTube and I saw something about Mike Tyson, and the next short was about Muhammad Ali talking about the
Mhm.
Rumble in the Jungle. I was like, dude, I want to see that. And I watched that
Yeah.
whole fucking fight, and then I just went down a rabbit hole watching Muhammad Ali like interviews and
Yeah,
fights.
yeah.
Dude, that man was another
It's
level,
so
dude.
insanely good, so insanely like it's so crazy to look at. That's one of the things I do like as well is when you look at like talent that is just like beyond what like normal or even above average or even like excellent human capacity like for greatness is. Like when you go to the pinnacle, when people like when every single person around you is like, this is who, like okay, the thing I always think about too is like with basketball, people always go like, okay, well LeBron James is incredible or Kobe Bryant is amazing masterclass athlete, but every single time it's always Michael Jordan who is at the pinnacle. He's at the peak. He is this unreachable fucking goalpost that just no one will, and everyone's like, he's this guy's like the next Michael Jordan, who's every single time. And I think kind of Muhammad Ali is at the same sort of level where it's like, man, he is at such a pinnacle, and you have so many other people who are like insanely, decorated and gifted, individuals within their separate fields, but like when you find that one, right? When you find the here he is, here's the person. This is it. This is the one, right? That's always some pretty incredible shit, man.
There's always people who will be mentioned around the one. You know, if you talk about Kobe or LeBron, they're like in relation to Jordan. It always comes back to that, just like you said. And people will talk about Mike Tyson, George Foreman, whatever, but it always goes back to Muhammad Ali.
Always, every single time. You can always talk about who came before and who basically influenced, because the thing about it is too is it's always like a building block. It's always like it builds up, and the person always takes influence from people who are great, and that's what boosts them into greatness. You know what I mean? And that's always super interesting to me, man. Like just finding the path that they took, looking at their influence, looking at, what made them or what influenced them to be who they became. You know what I mean? That's always super incredible to me. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I said, I'm not a huge fan, but at the same time, that aspect of it's super fucking cool to me,
Stuff.
Um,
So The fight was a little disappointing overall. I'll be polite
Yeah,
about it and say a little disappointing.
a little
But
disappointing.
the highlight for me, I don't know if it was in the first or the second round, but there was one time when Mike hit Jake with a good right hand,
It
like
was the
right in the
yeah,
chin, and you saw Jake's eyes get wide as fuck. Like, oh shit,
it was the first round.
that
Yeah,
was probably the only good part of it.
yeah. I was like, oh, please.
There's a
Like,
spark.
oh. Yeah, but then it was the first two rounds, and then after that, I was just like, all right, whatever.
You
Who
see
cares?
all this stuff going around about it being staged and faked, and
Oh, but that
Mike was
that's
giving signals to this, and there was a shoulder tap that meant do that.
yeah. The thing that um I've realized, or at least the thing that I've sort of noticed, it's a very common occurrence, at least within like Jake Paul's fights, is every single time it's like, oh, it's staged, or oh, it was planned, or like I think about the his older brother Logan fought Floyd Mayweather, and that even that it's like, okay, well, we knew who was going to win, you know what I mean? Like it's like um these sorts of things just kind of happen, and you're ready for it. You know, you're like I guess in the back of your mind you hope for like a great show, and you hope that it's going to be like this incredible, but I feel like every single time these sorts of things happens, it's like it's always disappointing. The guy has only fought like one legitimate boxer, and he lost,
He lost, yeah.
you know. I'm pretty sure he fought him twice, and he lost both times.
Did he really? I didn't know.
I think so. I want to say he fought, or maybe he only fought the one time. Oh no, he did only fight the one time. It was Tyson Fury's brother, and yeah, he got his ass kicked. He got the shit beat out of him. It was
I'll
not
have to
even
look
close.
that up. I'd like to see that.
Uh, but you know, it's always a show. It's always a show. I think, you know, it's like the you know, the Logan Paul versus KSI when they were boxing. It's like, okay, I doubt that they care who wins, because it's all publicity for them. It's all building upon their brand. It's all building upon any future endeavors that they have, right? So, and I can't remember if it was Jake or Logan that fought Floyd. I'm pretty sure it was Logan.
I don't know.
I
can
remember
barely
the
tell
big
these
thing was
balls apart.
the hat thing. He took his hat. They're like, I got your hat. And that was like the big
Oh,
burn. It was Logan. It
scandal.
was Logan. That's what it was. Yeah. I got your hat. That was always this. Oh my gosh, that's stupid. So yeah, and I think that's why too. I always look back to like older, like I don't really follow any modern boxers or any modern boxing.
Yeah,
But I
never
look
know.
back to older boxers. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I was kind of surprised. So continuing on the story here, that fight ended. I was whatever, and then we turned on Mike Tyson Mysteries. That was great.
Oh yeah,
Watched that for a
yeah.
while. But we played, man. We played. You and I played some Rocket.
Yeah,
played
yeah.
some Dragon Ball Z, Sparking Zero. We played some Helldivers.
Helldivers.
Kevin was going balls deep on TFT, Team Fight
I
Tactics.
did see that. I don't. It's so funny because like, even though we were like there, and it's almost like QuakeCon all over again, because it's like, and even though we were there, like, and I think the predisposition is like, oh yeah, we're all gonna play games together. We're all gonna play the exact same game. We're all gonna play like, I know that we tried at one point to all play Helldivers together. Never happened. We never. I don't think we ever once
We got
all
some
played
good
a game together.
Helldivers in there.
No, we did, but
Yeah.
like we never all played the same game together. We all were kind of doing our own thing, playing our own games. But
That's
I think
'cause-
a big part of it was just like being together. That was the main thing. It was like,
That's-
let's just be together and hang out. You know, that was a bigger part of it.
That's honestly it.
So
So then we just gamed until 4 or 5 in the morning. I heard a bunch of stories, and then I finally passed out for a few hours.
yeah,
Saturday, dude, you better love me. You better damn well love me. Because we were ordering lunch. We were ordering barbecue from this delicious, kind of pricey place. And I was like, get Silas some food. And we didn't know
Yeah.
what to get you. So I messaged your girlfriend. And I saw her on Discord. And I was like, I'm so glad you're online. What would Silas like from a barbecue place? And you woke up to some brisket.
dude, yeah, it was amazing. It was delicious. She said something like pretty much anything.
She's like, pretty much anything, but he likes sandwiches.
yeah, I do love a good sandwich. Especially a barbecue sandwich. I do love a good barbecue sandwich. Yes, I have incredible friends, if you didn't already know. Because yeah, you got me barbecue, and then that night Kevin got us pizza, and it was like, man, I was the thing that I was kind of worried about. Like, man, what the fuck am I gonna do about food this weekend? Like, I'm used to like being in my own space, or like even at like QuakeCon, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna either bring stuff or I just kind of went in like, whatever happens, happens. I guess we'll figure it out. And y'all had me covered the whole weekend. It was crazy. Yeah, we definitely ate fucking good. That barbecue was good as fuck.
Yeah, it was. Dude, I love that place.
Yeah. And then it was more of the same. Played a bunch of games, watched people beat the shit out of each other.
But then it was UFC. It was John Jones versus that name I can't pronounce.
Didn't even watch the fucking fight. I don't know. We watched. And the thing about it is, I didn't even really watch any of the fights. I feel like I think I played Spartan Zero most of the time.
The way we laid it out, your back was more to the TV than
true
everybody else, pretty much.
It was one of those things where I was like looking over my shoulder the whole time, and then my neck would start to hurt, and I'm like, I don't care that much about it, and I like turn back towards the computer.
Meanwhile, my dumbass, I set my computer up to where I was just like turned to the right and watched. I'd be in the middle of a Helldivers, just like.
Just like I'm very
staring off,
distracted.
fucking running into bugs.
That's like me now. I will say, like, watching the Outdoor Boys, some of the stuff is like really interesting. So I'll be playing a game and I'll be like, I'm not even looking at the screen. I don't know what the fuck is happening in front of me. But yeah, and then it was another night of like, I think because I left Saturday night, I don't think I got home till like 6 a.m.
I was saying you left at like 5 or 6 a.m.
Yeah. I was gonna go. It's funny too because I was gonna go to my girlfriend's the next night. I just slept through my alarms. I didn't even go. I just passed the fuck out.
No,
I was out of it, man. Yeah.
Sorry, what I started to say there, sorry to cut you off, is
yeah.
I was surprised when we went to watch UFC on that second night, and it was John Jones. Because I don't know how much you know about UFC, but that man has been around for goddamn ever, dude.
I just know that he's like really good. That's all I really know. I've seen so when I do watch like UFC content, it's usually like in short form, and I've seen videos about him, and then of course you do like a little deep dive. You do your mini dives and kind of get a little information. So I've knew of John Jones. I didn't know, I don't know anything, any details or anything about him. I just know that he's good. Apparently, I guess. I don't know.
I'm actually gonna look this up because I'm unprepared. But dude, I remember when I told you, I think last episode, how back when I was younger, we'd have kind of UFC like fight nights fairly regularly at my house, and I remember him being there, dude. He was he's been around forever. It says entered the UFC in I think this means 2008. Yeah, since 2008.
Damn. 2000. That's fucking crazy. Jesus Christ. I feel like for a fighter, that's nuts.
So that's what, 12? I can't math.
That's 16 years.
16 years.
Wait, no. 4, 8. No, that's.
Hey, just edit and just bleep this all out so nobody knows how stupid we are.
I'm trying to think. It's 16 years. 16 years. Sorry.
16 years getting punched in the head for a job.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. That is.
And he's still winning. Still on top of his game.
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I guess I don't know too. I watched a little bit about his opponent. I think it was his like Stipe or
Stipik or something
like that.
Sorry, guy. You're more than welcome to come on a show and correct us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, come on the show, talk about your fight.
Tell us how to pronounce your name.
Apparently, he's also really good. Like people are like, oh yeah, he's great too. But I know that one of the things about him is that I guess he retired or he hasn't fought in like 2 years. That was kind of the thing that people were like.
Was he out because of an injury?
No, I think he just stopped fighting. I don't think it was injury related. I think it was just like he literally he hasn't fought in 2 years. I don't. But apparently he was just really, really good. A lot of people were expecting John Jones to lose. Obviously, I'm gathering this from the little research that I did. But yeah, I don't know. It turned out that he got his shit rocked. He didn't.
Dude,
he lost bad.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I saw the kick.
There's no way.
That was insane. The amount of power that some of these people can deliver is nuts. You know what I mean? I love those shows when they're like, we're gonna test the cubic pressure that you're applying with these kicks or with these punches or something like that to like get the science behind it. That's always really interesting to me. I like, and I also like watching some of the training that people do. This is something that I don't think I've ever talked to you about. One of the sports that I am a little bit interested in is arm wrestling, professional arm wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty masculine.
There's a guy by the name of Devin Larratt, and he is like or at least at one point, I think it's kind of it shifts as time goes on. There's another guy I can't remember, and if I did remember, I don't know if I could pronounce his name. There's another guy now who's kind of taken his place, but at one point in time, with the World Arm Wrestling League, he held both of the highest achievements, which are these hammers, and you get a hammer for each hand because obviously you can do left-handed and right-handed arm wrestling, you know. And he held both hammers at the same time. He was the champion of both arms. That's how fucking good he was. This guy is like, I mean, people, the current like champion right now, the current like best in the world, or people who they say he's the best in the world, is like looks up to him. You know, he's kind of like the Michael Jordan of arm wrestling, funnily enough. I don't know if he's like the best, but he's like really fucking good.
He's the Kobe.
Yeah, he's definitely the Kobe. But you know, he trains and does all this crazy shit, and watching his training and hearing him talk about it is always really interesting. Hearing the technique behind it is always really interesting, because it's a lot of like, he talks about the movements and the way that, you know, you would think it's just like, oh, it's just all strength, and you're like, you're just going and that's it. No, there's so much technique. There's so much more that goes into it. And it's just like, it's fucking arm wrestling. What? That's always so crazy to me.
I mean, it's the same thing with that professional slapping stuff.
Yeah. But I will
got a
say
technique,
that,
dude. I actually just happened to see a short earlier, and this man, like, he put his hand next to the guy's face and like lined his fingertips up. He's like, right there, don't you move. Like, dude.
Well, and I know that Moist Critical is a YouTuber that I followed for ever and ever and ever, and he got really into the Russian professional slapping scene.
That's exactly where I saw it from. Yeah.
And he was really critical about the American slapping scene, because he was like, they let him rotate. You're not allowed to rotate. That gives you such an unfair advantage. It's so dangerous. And I'm like, oh man. So I know that they do it a little differently in the States compared to overseas, but it is very interesting when you think about the technique, or the thing that I'm kind of curious about is what kind of training goes into slapping. Like, are you finding willing volunteers to like slap you, to like build your stamina?
You can slap a punching bag.
Yeah, but how are you training to like withstand the slap?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what it is? You ever see those machines that like boxers will use where they hit it and it spins? So then like
they're just hitting it once
around.
And just like letting it go.
They try to smack it as hard as they can so they can take it.
That's like boxers that like hang up by the bars and like get hit in their abs, like strengthen their core.
Yeah.
Oh man. I was thinking about like one of those like you ever seen like one of those like pie things that like it like you push the button and it slaps the pie in front of you.
Yeah.
I was thinking like they just take the pie off and it's just like the goofy little hand and it's like spinning around like a helicopter, slapping them over and over again. That's what I imagine.
I think that's exactly how they do it.
Oh god.
Hey, you want to start like a time limit slapping team?
No, I don't want to get slapped in the face. I'd rather get into arm wrestling if anything. I don't want to get slapped in the face.
Yeah, I don't want to get slapped either. You're right.
It's just
we could take it international, dude. We'll go against the Russians. They don't rotate.
No.
We could knock them out. They don't rotate.
Dude, have you seen some of those Russian slappers?
On Charlie's channel, yeah.
Yeah, they're absolutely nuts.
So wild.
Oh my god. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. I'll pass. God. I think, and I also like, funnily enough, this is a kind of weird tangent, but I have a lot of friends that are really into like, they used to love just beating the shit out of each other. They get boxing gloves out and spar in the backyard or whatever. Dude, I'm such a big pussy. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hit. I would do it because they're my friends and like, all right. I don't want to like wrestle around or anything. I don't want to fucking get hit in the face. I'm so anti like, I don't know. I maybe I have a low pain tolerance or something. But
I'm learning this episode. You're boring.
Damn. I have a cool podcast though. Check it out.
A cool podcast, but we need to get you out of the house, and we need to like
get you into
some
fights.
asses. Yeah.
No, it's funny too because I'm a big guy. Like I'm right about 6'1", 200. I've always been like over 200 pounds.
If you would just wipe the goofy smile off your face for a few seconds, you look formidable.
Do I really? I don't think I do.
If you had
Uh,
a scour and you kind of stuck your neck up
yeah.
a little bit, you could look almost tough. That wasn't it. That's sorry, audio listeners. You're gonna want to check YouTube because that was a highly comedic moment. Look like a turtle. Like you just poked out of your shell.
I don't know. I don't know how to look formidable. I don't ever try to like look angry or try and intimidate anybody. I talk the most shit when I'm like behind the wheel in my car, where no one else can hear me.
It's easy
You know
to
what
talk
I mean?
shit there.
Dude, I love it. I fucking hate I hate whoever you are. You know, I don't know who you are. I just hate you. I just know for a fact I hate you.
I hope
hate
you're
your
late.
family. Yeah, I hope you're late. You know what? I hope you hit a pothole and you have to pee real bad and a little bit comes out.
Oh my god. That's diabolical.
I hope you get home. I hope you get home safely.
All right, we've been hanging out too
man.
much.
Oh, yeah, we have. Holy shit. Oh, no. Oh,
There's
God.
just something about not using your blinker will send me into a rage. It's so easy.
Yeah.
You raise
Yeah.
one little finger.
Just boop, boop.
Can't.
It goes off automatically, too, if you're making a turn.
It
You know?
does. Just people just can't handle it.
I don't know. I think it's funny, too, because, like, I'm the type of person that, like, I'll be like, what is this guy doing? You know what I mean? Like, what? I think my girlfriend is starting to not like driving with me because I complain a lot when I'm on the road. I'm like, she doesn't like to drive and she has to deal with me driving. And I'm just like, what is happening? What are you doing? I'll see I'd say I'm fairly observant. And so when I see someone doing some dumb shit, I'll be like, what is happening? What are you doing? Stop it.
That's
Stop
me.
it. Get some
Yep.
help. I don't
Like,
know.
that's why your car's all fucked up.
Yeah.
I know how you got that dent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my. Yeah. It just drives me up a fucking wall. And that's like, but like that beyond that, I'm like, I don't want to fucking confront people. You know, I don't want to get anybody's way. But I don't want to deal with that shit. And I'm pretty. I'm pretty anti-confrontational outside of my vehicle. Inside my vehicle, I'm ready to start every fight.
In my safe zone.
My safe space.
I feel like it wouldn't take too much to get Jake Paul to issue like a fight offer to you. Dude, he wants to fight everybody right now.
No, you have to be over the certain age. I'm too young to fight
Oh
him.
yeah, you're too young. You might beat his ass.
Yeah, I'm too young.
We'll have to really sell it like
So
Silas, world-renowned podcaster and slap fight extraordinaire.
he doesn't even rotate. It's crazy.
You're gonna fight him with one glove. That way, the other one is just for open hands.
Just for open.
Or you'll have some sort of glove that keeps your hand flat. The
Right,
opposite
right.
of a glove, so you can punch.
We just have like a new hybrid boxing slap sport that we're inventing just for me to go and fight Jake Paul. That'll go over well.
Yeah.
That won't be me publicly embarrassing myself. I will say that paycheck would be crazy.
You just said earlier, it's all for the publicity, baby.
True. Oh, listen, if Jake Paul called me tomorrow, like, hey, I'm gonna fight you for money, I'd be like, dude, I will go down in the first if you want that. Like, I'll take some brain damage to just fucking.
No,
I'll throw I don't care.
Don't take brain damage, then you can't be cognizant to spend your money.
True. I will take some pretend brain damage and make it look really good on camera to then make a lot of money. I'm completely fine with that.
I'm just gonna warn you right now, you're gonna want to be careful with faking brain damage on camera. That can turn offensive quickly.
Oh yeah, true. Well, I mean, like, a slight concussion.
What does that look like?
Ow. I don't know.
Damn, I've seen you get a lot of concussions.
just like a little, like, bright lights hurt. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm seeing double.
Yeah. In the moment, I'll play it off a little better, but
I just want to beat my girlfriend. That's what the CTE does to you, you know?
Oh,
Was
is that what
that
it does?
NFL guy, Aaron Hernandez?
Is that what happened?
Oh, you never heard about that guy?
No, I
Dude,
mean,
it's
I
a
might have in
it's a
passing. But,
crazy. There's a Netflix documentary. It's pretty damn good. But
he got
the
CT and decided that he was going to beat his girlfriend.
so the long and short of it is he plays football from the time he's like a young guy. And he gets into college and he starts getting real popular. He gets drafted into the NFL. And he plays for the Patriots.
Oh shit!
And
Okay.
I think he played for him for 2 years, if I remember correctly. And one of those 2 years, at the beginning of the season, he goes out to a club. I might be fuzzy on the details. I think he just like bumps into a guy or something, or some guy spills his drink on him or some shit. And then he goes out in the parking lot and murders him and drives off. And they have
Whoa.
they have no idea that it's him because who the fuck would expect the pro
Yeah.
football player guy to
To
do it? They
ruin his
go on
life
and
like
win
that.
the Super Bowl. And then afterwards, it all comes out. And there was the guy at the club, and then I think there was another woman that he just randomly got pissed off at and murdered as well.
Wow.
So he's in prison awaiting trial, and he ends up taking care of himself,
Oh, okay.
not sexually. And
God.
they end up deciding like we have to cut this man's brain open, and they cut it open, and it's like the most CTE they've ever seen on a brain. And that was kind of like the sparking factor where the NFL started putting a lot more efforts into watching for concussions, pulling players out, increasing helmet protection, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know that it's only been within past like 10, 20 years that we've really started to look at concussions and what they do to the human body. Like, that the thing that always kills me is, people with like young kids that have their kids in like Pee Wee football and the detrimental effects that has. That's another thing that I've looked at is like, just any sort of like jostling of the brain. Looking at people who play like soccer, and anytime they take a ball and like hit it with their head, that any time that you're jostling your brain, you're causing minor damage, right? And that damage builds up over time. If you played fucking soccer for 20 years, how many balls you're hitting with your head, that adds
Soccer,
up.
you're going to be a lot safer than football.
But
Or
yeah,
boxing.
obviously. Yeah, or any sort of getting hit in the face, slapping, probably. I'm sure your brain's getting jostled around, getting slapped in the face pretty hard. Anything that yeah, you have the potential to like get knocked out. But yeah, anything that like jostles your brain, yeah, it's not good.
I mean, but everything you just said is factual. But on the flip side of that token, dude, having like a team sport at a young age is really great.
It's true, yeah, it is true. I just think that there's other, like you can play flag football. I don't understand. You still understand the basic fundament, and I guess this is kind of just a difference of like how people view. Like, obviously, I can't fucking tell anybody how to raise their kids. I don't have any kids. I don't know how to raise kids. I know basic understandings of taking care of a human being to make sure they don't die. That's about it. But I just don't think that I would ever, and I think a lot of that comes from my parents. My parents would never let me play football. I wanted to so bad.
Really?
Oh, dude, I wanted so badly to play football. Middle school and high school, I begged my parents.
Dude, were the coaches pushing you?
No. Well, but the thing about it is, like in middle school, I was a pretty average sized kid. But then in high school, dude, I shot up to like 6 foot, and then I gained some weight. I was like 250 by my sophomore year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was a big boy. Like I could have played some fucking football. And it was one of those things that I was like, man, I don't understand. I think eventually by the time I got to like my, freshman, sophomore year of high school, I was like, I just gave up. Because I knew my parents weren't gonna let me play. And at that point I was content with that. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm never playing football. But yeah, and it was because they had seen so many injuries related to the sport that they were like, because they were both in the medical field, and they were both just like, yeah, we're not gonna let you fucking play this shit. No, hell no. The combination of that, and then my mom saw my older brother, he was playing tag football, and some asshole fucking tackled him and broke his fucking collarbone. And that was like burned into her brain of like, I'm never letting my baby boy fucking play, I'm never letting my youngest play this shit. Fuck that. So she never let me play. My dad though, yeah, my dad's a paramedic, so he had seen every sort of injury that you could imagine that you get from, football, from, bone breaks to concussions to, whatever, anything in between. So they never
Did you have
let me
any
touch the sport.
aspirations to play any other sports at all?
No, I never. I think once I didn't get my chance at football, I just yeah, I wanted to do swimming, but I didn't know that was an option until later. I really loved to swim. It was a little too late by the time I realized there was a swimming team. Like when I went to school, I didn't know how the fuck any of this shit got signed up. I didn't know how I got into any of my classes. I was just there. Like, you know what I mean?
They handed me a
I
schedule
didn't
and I
meet with
walked
anybody.
around.
Yeah. They just handed me shit, and I was like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing. The only thing I got to pick was like my language classes. I think that's really it. I don't know if there's any other like extracurriculars that I was a part of ever in high school, at least. Um,
I remember taking
yeah.
my high school offered an agricultural like I don't remember what the purpose of it was, but it was all about like farming and like
Oh,
agriculture. And then like
I
I had
know.
I don't think I had a pig, but like our class had a pig maybe or something.
Hmm.
We'd have to drive up to the high school on the fucking weekends and like feed this pig.
I was gonna say, I know that
So I'm
like
from Texas.
yeah, I was gonna say, being in Texas, agricultural classes are kind of normal. I definitely know that that's like,
Dude, I remember one class. I'm sorry to cut you off, but in that class,
no,
we
you're good.
fucking we had a period where we welded. I'm in high school
Oh,
putting
that's
on
kind of
welding
wild.
class and welding shit.
Damn. Okay, that's cool. See, and
Texas,
like,
baby.
man, I did do tech theater, which tech theater was like building the sets
Oh,
and
that's cool.
yeah, building the sets, hanging up the lights. I don't remember if I told you the story about how I fell while I was hanging up one of the lights.
I don't think
I
I don't
was
think I've heard this.
so there the way that you kind of got up to the stage was these like grated metal stairs that you just it's a very they're like painted black. Everything up there is dark. Obviously it's to conceal everything. But they trusted fucking teenagers with like pretty solid like really heavy like lights to like go and hang up there. It was crazy. I look back at that now. I'm like, I would never fucking trust any of these kids to do this shit, right? But they trusted us to go up there, and there was a certain point where I went up with another classmate of mine, and we were gonna go hang up some lights or whatever, and there was a light that was out on the stairwell, and I don't think anything of that. But as I was coming down, luckily I wasn't holding anything, but as I was coming down, I missed the last step where that light was out, and I fucking fell down, and thankfully. It was the way they had the stairs set up. It wasn't just like a solid set of stairs. It was like a set of stairs and then a flat platform and then another set of stairs. And so I just missed the last step and like fell. And then immediately like the grates like cut through my jeans and like sliced open my knees. Or my one of my knees because I just fell on the one. And then but I was very fortunate that I was like right at one of those platforms because otherwise I would have just gone tumbling. Like I would have ate shit. And yeah, it sucked. I had to get stitches and fucking walk around all awkward for a couple weeks.
Brutal.
But that was what I did. That was like the most extracurricular activity shit that I did. The rest of it was just like, why the fuck? I don't know. I didn't have a very good time in high school.
I
We could talk about that
remember
another day.
summer school was fun.
You went to summer school?
Yeah.
I didn't go to summer. I
By the
don't think
time I hit
summer
high school, I didn't really care about school anymore and got in trouble and did stupid things. But then I remember, I think it was my freshman year. It was the first time I ever had to go to summer school, and I was so pissed off. But I get there. Within the first day or two, I realized like everything we need to do for this entire period is on these computers, and you can blaze through it as fast as you can. So I'd skip straight to the fucking end, read what I needed to know for the test, go home, figure it all out. Next day, come back all knowledged up, take the test, be like, done with this section, next.
Damn. That's actually very intelligent.
Dude, the thing, yeah, it was intelligence was not the issue. It was effort
Yeah.
or like
Applying
motivation.
effort. Yeah. I get that. I think that's a lot of people and a lot of kids in high school or in school in general. You just get so I was very naturally smart and I used that to kind of get away with just like I never studied. I never tried. And I always think back now, like now that I'm older, I'm like, man, I should have applied myself. I feel like I could have gone so much further and whatever.
Did you, I remember in high school mathing out what I needed to get on a test to pass the class.
Damn.
So like if I do no homework and those are all zeros, but those are only like, 40% of the grade or whatever, but the test is 60. So if I get a 90 on that, I still pass. Easy money.
Damn, that's wild. Oh man, that's wild. Yeah, whoever
And then I
invented
started doing
homework's a
drugs
fucking
and high school was
dick.
over.
Yeah, yeah. That's that'll do it. I started doing drugs in high school. Sorry, mom and dad. And yeah, that definitely killed a lot of my motivation for success. Don't do drugs, kids. They're not good.
Do not do drugs.
Um, as much as high school kind of fucking sucks, I will say it's one of those things that like I look back on it now and I regret my lack of effort. Um, and while I don't think you necessarily need to like go all out and like study every day and I think you can get away with like make sure you have a good work life or school life balance, right? Like go out, have fun, enjoy your youth and shit like that. Um, but I do
Also,
think it's important, yeah, like try and succeed in some capacity. Don't just fucking go out there and wing it. Try and, put forth some semblance of effort. And I think you'll pat yourself on the back later in life for it. You know what I mean?
here's what I'll say to that. My wife has 2 bachelor's degrees, and she worked exceptionally hard to have the highest possible grades that she could. She could tell you her GPA, it's so close to 4.0, it's crazy.
Hmm.
And some of her fellow students that she went to class with who fucked off and partied and did whatever and got C's, sometimes she sees them on Facebook and she's like, that job pays more than mine does.
Yeah.
It's not all about getting straight A's, but it's also not all about just barely skate by. I mean, just pick and choose your battles, be middle
Yeah.
to it, pass your classes, but you still got to work for it.
Yeah, definitely have to put some effort into it. And I think too, it kind of comes down to your aspirations. What do you want in life? What are you looking forward to? What are you trying to achieve? And building up towards that goal, like setting goals for yourself. I think something that I really appreciate now in my life is the fact that I can set goals for myself that are achievable. I think when I was younger, I had such high expectations for myself. I had such outlandish expectations, really, when I look back on it.
Yep.
And I think that that's just kind of, you're just setting yourself up for letdown. You're setting yourself up for failure. When in reality, you need to just look at what you need. You need to look at or like what you want, really. Look at the basics. Like, okay, I want to have a degree. Okay, cool. Well, what do you want to have a degree in, right? Or I want to get a job. Okay, well, what kind of job? Like, what's the area? How can you like get into this? Like, for instance, lately I've been thinking about like I really want a job at a library. I don't know why. I don't know what set this off. That's just kind of what I've been wanting. And so I'm actually thinking about going. Yeah, right. I'm actually thinking about going back to school, but I think that when I do go back to school, I'd go in a more directed path towards a path that would lead me into a field that I'd be able to work in a library. Um, I've applied to plenty of libraries, but I think because I don't have, the history or the work history or the knowledge that it takes, because being a librarian or working within a library, it takes a lot more than just like putting books away. But
I know that and I believe that, but I don't know what the more is.
a lot of it, so at least with being, I don't know about like the lower, like being a page or being a library clerk. I do know that with being a librarian, because of the research that I've done into it, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're teaching. You're doing a lot of teaching. You're doing a lot of like guidance, because you're like teaching classes. You're teaching courses about, and it's not like your traditional teaching. It's not like I'm going to teach you about world history or I'm going to teach you about the mathematics. It's like teaching about like basically you're building a plan to educate about, and I don't know if it's necessarily different aspects about the library or if it's just different, what people might want to learn, how to like utilize the library. It could be a number of different things, right? But you're basically, you have to learn to become a teacher so that way you can do it effectively. It's essentially the knowledge that you need to gain is how to become an effective teacher, so that way you can then teach people to use resources effectively. And I don't know, I'm probably doing a poor job of explaining this.
Kind of makes sense.
But yeah, essentially you need to be able to teach. You need to be a teacher. And to do that, according to most libraries, you need like a degree, and you need a really solid degree. Like usually a bachelor's or a master's. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. But I mean, obviously you can work your way up, and gain experience, but it's like, it takes years, man. It takes a lot of time to gain that sort of experience. And yeah, so
I never really understood what I had chosen in my life when I chose, like from a young age, I wanted to go into IT. I love computers. I like problem solving. People kind of suck, but computers are cool. And I got really lucky in that I was never, as we discussed just a little while ago, I wasn't the best in school at applying myself, so I never got a college degree. But I literally started working at the Geek Squad at Best Buy, and I worked there for 5 years, and that was just enough quote unquote IT experience to get me into my first kind of real IT spot, which,
Mhm.
a few more years of experience there led me to where I am now. But, from talking like to my wife, she's a scientist, like molecular biology. She's she's badass.
Hell yeah, she
And
is.
there's no way you can't do what she does without a degree. You will
Yeah, oh
simply
yeah,
not get in the door. But
yeah,
in IT, there's a million certs and there's degrees and things, but I can walk in with my resume and say, I've physically done this shit for 7 years.
yeah,
So that counts for so much in the IT field. I don't know what point I'm making. Pick IT, I guess.
yeah. Go into everyone. Go into IT right
I
now.
actually don't. It's
Flood
kind
the
of a shit
market.
show right now. Like the IT market's not great right now because there's been 80 bajillion layoffs.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's always a weird thing is when you pick a field and then it suddenly, whether the economy changes or whatever happens and you sort of you expect. I think a lot of people, I know that when I was younger, I really wanted to get into gaming. I was like I'm going to be a video game designer. I want to design video. I feel like every young
Yeah.
gamer has always had that, like I want to make my own games. And then you get into like the logistics and actual like what goes into it and you're like, I don't think I want to do this. And it was, for me, it was looking at it and going like wanting to go through the process and then realizing like how much effort it took, and then now looking at where we are now, where like that's happening in gaming right now, where like there's so many layoffs, so many companies are downsizing, so many skeleton crews are working and shit like that. Like games are the game market is flooded as all can be. There's so many different games to play. um it's not a good time to be a game developer, unfortunately, but
I
it
mean,
is what it is.
with any job,
Mm-hmm.
anytime, any place, it kind of just depends on the company. I feel
Yeah,
like if you're working for Larian Studios right now, who made Baldur's Gate 3, you're probably doing just fine.
yeah, yeah,
But if you're working at EA where they can't make a goddamn good game to save their lives, probably having a
yeah,
bad time.
yeah. I wonder. Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms that we could open. Is wondering. Yeah, I look at like Bethesda's the one that I always look at, where like Starfield for a lot of people I feel like was probably a disappointment, and they were expecting Elder Scrolls in space, but it just not what was delivered. Um, and I wonder about when, like, at what point does a company kind of lose its soul, and I wonder at what point will game developers realize, probably never. I feel like it's so soulless now, the industry is so soulless, but at what point, if at any point in time, will anybody realize, like, if you just make a game that's legitimately fun, you'll make more fucking money than you'll ever imagine, right? Everyone keeps saying like I know that there was a lot of people say like when Helldivers came out, or even when, like you mentioned Baldur's Gate, like when those games, or when Elden Ring came out, when those games came out, people are like, this is gonna shake up the gaming industry. This is gonna knock all those big corporate, video game companies off their socks. They're gonna realize they're not gonna sell their games, and they haven't changed. Like that, nothing fucking changed. What are you talking about? They're still just like shilling the same dog shit garbage that you're gonna buy. Like that,
Well,
nothing's changed. It just, I don't know. It's
to be
always really
fair, both of
interesting
those
to me.
games are a year or two old now, right?
Uh, what Helldivers and what?
Baldur's
Hell,
Gate.
yeah, and then I think Elden Ring's 2 years old, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So, I mean, games take years to make. I think any
yeah,
trend
true,
generally is 2 to 3 years. Think about PUBG. 2 to 3 years later, everything is battle royale.
true. Yeah.
You know.
Fuck. I I don't know.
So
I just,
who knows?
maybe I'm being a pessimist, and I
I,
have little hope.
it's kind of hard
Um,
not to be, but it's definitely, man, the almighty dollar. Like capitalism rules, and
yeah. But I feel like it's always like the thing. It's for me. It's always like the thing of like, I feel like you can kind of see the obvious answer, but no one wants to use that answer, right? Like the obvious answer is like, we'll just make a good game, make a game that is engaging, make a game that literally you have millions of people, not hundreds, not thousands, you have millions of people who say, this is what we want in a game, right? This is, you could look at all your other, there's all this data that you can collect and you can say, okay, this is everything. And instead of saying, okay, well, we're going to give them that. And then when we give them that, they're going to give us money, right? Like, oh, that's crazy how that happens. But at the same time, what ends up happening is like, okay, we heard what you said, and we're going to give you like some of the stuff that we gave you, but we're changing this stuff because it's cheaper and more convenient for us, or we're changing it just because we're wanting to innovate, and innovation ends up being bullshit, right?
Because what you guys wanted sounds great and cool, but we couldn't figure out how to put microtransactions in it.
Exactly. I think so many games could be made that would be incredible if companies would just get their heads out of their asses and be like, yeah, let's just make a good game. And I think the thing that is always crazy to me is when a good game gets made, it fucking rocks and people buy the fuck out of it. People love it. That's why indie developers are so incredible right now. Cause like it's one of those things where like you get these amazing indie games and they just fucking destroy the landscape and do amazing things. They shock everyone. They, these games come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they become gigantic hits. And then no one ever pays it. Like, it's like, okay, well, even though we saw how amazing this did, how much money it made, we're not going to do that, right? We're not going to, who gives a fuck? Fuck them, whatever.
I think there's something in the corporate world where you have to report end over end, year over year increase in sales. And if you are not doing that, you are failing.
Yeah.
So they spend all this money just trying to make these games, and they have to jam as many microtransactions into them as possible. That way they can keep making more money. But then people don't want it, so the company does bad. They do layoffs.
Yeah.
And then they try it again, and they do the exact same goddamn thing. But then think about, okay, what was it, like 2018 is when I started using this term like a flash in the pan game. And it was with Apex Legends. Maybe it's 2017. I remember that game came out, and man, our whole friend group, we were on that shit hot. Didn't stop playing it for a couple months, and then it was gone. For us, I know Apex is still big, it's still huge, but for us, it was gone. And then there was something else, some other game that we all played for several months, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Think about Vampire Survivors. It's probably the greatest example.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That one dude puts out a $5 game and just sells ever loving shit out of it. I don't know that a company can even do that. I don't know that a large company that has 100 employees and has to pay salaries and insurance and 401ks can even make something so simple and pure.
Yeah.
Because it has to crank back money. If it does not crank back money, this company fails.
Yeah. I think without building a reputation, it's really hard. I know that FromSoft is one of those companies that, I mean, they're huge now, but they also have the reputation. It's sort of like CD Projekt Red. They have that reputation of being able to put out a masterful product. It's why Cyberpunk sold so much without even, being out. People were bought in on the hype, and it did matter. The launch didn't matter. No one give a fuck.
I loved it
until the game. Yeah, even on launch, I loved it. But and they've made it into an incredible game. We've talked about
Cyberpunk 2077 is the only game that I've ever played where I could be a male character wearing a pair of pants with my dick hanging out.
There you go. That's the quality of a good game. You know what I mean? Have that thing swanging in the wind. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. That's a question that I don't think will ever be answered. Why won't companies just make something good, brother? Like, fucking make some good shit. Make a game that's fun, and everyone will buy it. People will be like, oh my god, everyone will buy it. I would buy a fucking EA game tomorrow if it was fun. I would. I don't give a fuck. I'll give that multi-billion-dollar company money.
I just bought Battlefield 6 or Battlefield 5 a week or two ago because it was on sale, and that's a good game.
Great game. Fucking love Battlefield 5. 2014 came out. What the fuck happened there?
But I always played it on Game Pass. I never actually owned it until it was on sale for like $5. Like, hell yeah.
Dude, yeah. Battlefield 5 was great. I love the Battlefield series. 2042 really turned me off. That's a whole other conversation for another day.
It's not as good. It's okay.
No,
it's definitely not as good.
It is such a, and especially on launch, it was such a fall. Like okay, it's another
Launch
one of
was
those games
bad.
where I had fun on launch for like 3 days, and then I was like, this game is not nearly as good as like when 5 came out, or no, when 1 came out, when Battlefield 1 came out.
One was
we played
amazing.
so much Battlefield 1, right? And then I think even when 5 came out, I played the fuck out of 5, dude. Like I played so much 5. And then like 2042, I was so ready. I was like, here we go again. I'm hooked on Battlefield. It was like how people buy Call of Duty every year. I was so ready. I didn't care. I didn't care if it was gonna be, I'd even watched the fucking the people play in the beta, and it was like, yeah, it's kind of shitty, but it's like, it's a beta, so it's probably gonna be different on launch. They're gonna have some stability patches. No, it sucked. It was still terrible. Shit sucked. They've made improvements to the game, but it's like, why couldn't you just release the game and it be good already? What's going on with that? A lot of
Because
it's
they had to
culture-based
crank it
and
out by a certain deadline to make that fucking dollar.
People need to learn patience. I'm willing to wait for a good game. It's why I don't give a fuck
It's not
how
about
long
you.
GTA
It's about
takes.
EA needs to crank
It
it
is-
out.
No, it is about me though.
Oh.
I am the one who makes or breaks a game.
EA,
I don't know if
you
you know this,
listen
Kirby.
here. Silas is speaking the gospel.
If you don't impress me with your games, the rest of the world's not going to be impressed either. Okay,
I speak for the world.
I speak for all of the world. I'm basically Goku when I'm summoning the Spirit Bomb right now.
Whoa, don't go making
They're
threats
all-
now. Don't go making
No,
threats.
they're
This is
all
going
just
on
giving me
YouTube.
their energy, and I'm throwing the Spirit Bomb via, I don't know, in some non-threatening way that then impacts them negative. I'm basically throwing spirit reviews. That's what I'm throwing. It's a spirit review. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
When the review comes down,
Nobody will be physically
big.
harmed.
It's just one big thumbs down that's like flying through the sky, and then
Picturing
crashes their game sales.
The hand from Super Smash, the
Yeah.
boss, and he just
And it's like
outside the window all day.
it's like coming down like a meteor, and then it just stops right outside their headquarters and stays there like a stain.
But it has to go like up and down a little bit. That way they know.
just like a little bob, like a little. Ew. No thanks.
Have you heard anything
This-
about they've been teasing the new Battlefield a little bit.
Have they? Oh no,
Well, nothing
I
has been
think-
like officially said, but there is a playtest happening and a few like early impressions, which
Mm.
you want to take a
yeah.
wild guess what they say?
Oh, fantastic! It's amazing. Or is
Battlefield's
it shit?
back to form.
Oh yeah, okay, bud.
Yeah.
I'll
We'll
believe
see.
it when
we'll
I
see
it.
about that.
I know for a fact I'm not going to buy the next Battlefield on launch. That's what I know. I'll wait. And I think too that's funny. You know, I talk about patience. I've built patience where I'm like, man, I feel like now I'm so much more willing to give a game a month or so before I buy it. I want to see the course it's going to take, whether it's going to be something that like with Helldivers. I didn't buy Helldivers until probably a month after launch, and then I was like, okay, I'll play this, and yeah, I played the fuck out of it. But I wanted to give it some time. I wanted to, and I'm like that with most games nowadays, where I'm like, I'll give this a little while before I look into like, is this really something that I want? You know what I mean?
I feel like there is a game or two that might come that I'd be like, hell yeah, day one. But for the most part, yeah, it's really easy to.
What games do you think? I think the only game upcoming for me that I would absolutely buy day one would be the new Monster Hunter. That's about it. But that's because I already have friends who played in the playtest and that I trust. I trust their opinion. And they were like, yeah, I'm getting it day one. And I was like, oh, okay, good. It's everything that we're expecting. So
I don't know. I definitely bought a Final Fantasy 16 on
oh
launch.
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
But that was also a thing where it was released on PlayStation a year and a half prior, so I already knew it was a
Yeah.
good game. It was really
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
matter of does it run on PC on day one, and it ran good. Even
Yeah,
though
that
I
was-
didn't
that was-
play it on day one, that was the whole thing.
That was me with Spider-Man. When Spider-Man came to PC, I was like, I bought the fuck out of that. And it was great. I can't wait for the second one to finally come to PC because I've heard it's great too.
Man,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
trying
know,
to think. I feel like there was something on the horizon somewhere that I
Something
was
coming
super
out.
stoked on, but don't remember.
Lately, it's just been like unexpected stuff. Deadlock was really unexpected for me. That was a game that I had no idea that I was gonna fall in love with. I've put 250 hours into the game already.
Jeez.
Yeah, I have no plans of slowing down. Probably gonna go to bed so I can wake up early in the morning, play Deadlock before I edit. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what has happened. I always think too, like maybe my passion for gaming is like slowing down or something. But I at the same time, I don't think it is, because man, I still love playing games. I still love getting a new game or playing something new, playing something fresh. Dude, playing Sparking Zero has been fucking amazing. Still enjoying Sparking Zero.
That's I think that's probably the biggest factor that people don't think about sometimes, because as we get older, we do go through these kind of gaming ruts. And I
Mhm.
think that it's just that cool new game's gonna come out and you're gonna be right back in.
Yeah, yeah,
You get
yeah.
tired of the
Definitely,
same things, but
yeah, definitely something to pull you back in. Is always a beneficial thing. You know, like if a DLC comes out or some new mechanic or aspect of a game comes out, definitely makes a big difference. But yeah, I don't know. Oh man. Well, I think I want to do things a little differently than we normally have in the past couple episodes. Normally we would talk about a lolcow, but I don't think that we're gonna do that this week.
because
You know,
because we're talking about things we're thankful for, and
yeah,
we're not
yeah.
actually thankful for those people.
We're not thankful for those people. Fuck them. Fuck most of them. Cobra, hoping the best for you, bud. The rest of them, fuck them. Um, yeah, funnily enough, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Weirdly enough, I don't know what it is. I'm not, I mentioned before, I'm not extremely sociable. But I do enjoy spending time with my family when I get it, and I think that like having that time to like look forward to it. Also, I guess I should mention that we're recording this a week in advance, so by the time this episode comes out, obviously Thanksgiving will have already happened. It hasn't happened for us yet. But hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. I probably should say that because it would have been past tense by now. Hopefully there wasn't any like crazy, crazy family members or any wacky what shenanigans. I hope you had a lot of food. Hope you're stuffed, and hope you have a fridge full of leftovers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I hope for all of
leftover
that.
turkey and
Dude,
stuffing and
people who hate on leftover turkey and shit like that, like I could eat a turkey sandwich every day. I don't give a fuck. Oh my god, I love
we were talking about
leftovers.
leftovers earlier, and I'm not huge. I'm kind of bad about leftovers, but Thanksgiving, easy
Mm,
money.
I'm eating that shit for days. Oh my god. Um, but yeah, I love Thanksgiving. I love getting together with family on Thanksgiving. I love hanging out and the camaraderie of it, the sort of tradition of it. It's one of those weird things, man, where like I didn't appreciate it as much until I got older. I've said that a number of times where it's like I really didn't. There's a lot of stuff I think I look back now and I'm like, man, I think about like traveling. As much as I've traveled across the United States, I didn't appreciate that as much until I got older. Thanksgiving's another one where it's like, man, I really have not appreciated how special those times were, how much it meant to me, how much it means to me, even to this day, to have the family that I have and to have the people in my life that I have. Um, it's just it's really awesome. You know what I mean? It's I don't want to brag. My family's pretty cool though, and even even it's like last year and this year I'm spending it with my girlfriend's family. They're fucking cool too. Like they're very welcoming. They welcome me into their homes. I've gotten to spend time with them, gotten to get to know them, and it's really cool. Like it's just a really cool all around thing. I'm very thankful for it. Um, and I'm also thankful for my friends. All my friends have been really fucking awesome to me. They buy me Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Uh, every single one of them.
Yeah, he's
Well,
got
all
so
the
many
ones,
copies.
all the all the ones named Kirby, I should say. Um, and it's one of those things that it's so weird when I look back and trace kind of the history of how I met each individual friend. That's always really interesting to me. And I think one day I would love to do like an episode of like, let's just break down all of our friendships and how the fuck we got here. You know what I mean? I think that would be kind of cool of like, okay, I met you here and then we met this person here, kind of doing the tree like up. I think would be kind of interesting. But I
That
am
would be
always very
interesting to people who have no idea who any of these people are.
exactly. I think we could talk if we could probably You probably make it interesting.
That'd be a fuck up episode. This episode's for us.
Yeah.
You're lucky we turned the cameras on.
Oh fuck. I don't know. I'm very thankful for a lot of things, but most importantly, I'd say my friends and family. The fact that I get to wake up, you know, live on Earth as fucking kind of fucking crazy and shitty as it can be. I am still thankful that I get to wake up. You know, thankful that I'm still kicking. I'm thankful that I have a really awesome girlfriend. Yeah, I think yeah, and I'm especially thankful to Kirby for this podcast and having the actual accountability to say, hey, I want to start a podcast and then go through with it. Because little do a lot of people know, there were other podcasts in play and that were planned out that I had wanted to start. And there was one in particular that I was actually going to go through with, that we had all the plans. We were going to do, we were going to meet to like get together and like work everything out. And it just didn't go. It just didn't happen. And, you know, I am actually thankful that it didn't, because I think that I wouldn't have got to this point and have time well met with Kirby. So I'm especially thankful for that. What are you thankful for, buddy?
I'm just thankful for anybody who listens to this pile of garbage. And my family's good too. I love my family.
Anyone who's listening to this shit.
No. I really do. And I'm thankful for this show that we get to do. If nothing else, it's a break from life for a couple hours and we shoot the shit. Sometimes people comment funny shit on it. Sometimes people tell me I'm a bad husband. I'm thankful for it all.
Hell yeah.
Definitely my wife, my son, family. Really fucking thankful just to have a job, a good job in these modern days.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't think Thanksgiving, I don't know if I say it's my favorite. I don't even know if I have a favorite. I mean,
it's my favorite. Food and people
food and family
mostly enjoy.
Right. It's really hard to beat that.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's been a little bit weird in my family, like personally, the past I don't know how many years, but definitely prior to that, it was a highlight. Like family would come in from out of town, or we'd go to the family's house out of town and just have everybody together. More food than you could possibly eat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, playing with your cousins.
Yeah. Oh man.
You're actually right. You're right. Thanksgiving is really great.
It's up there. It's up there at least.
I will say, it even battle with though.
Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah, but Christmas sucks when you're an adult. Little known secret.
True.
It sucks when Santa doesn't come anymore.
True. I don't know. I don't know what it compares to. I always think about like my birthday is like,
that ain't a holiday, motherfucker.
It's a holiday for me, baby. Happens every year, and I get forced to celebrate it. But I think about like that's the time when like I actively. It's the only other time, other than like Christmas, that I actively go and seek family, or like family interacts with me in some sort of way. You know, like for like Easter or for any of those other fucking Halloween or any of those, I don't go out. I don't talk to anybody. I'm not spending Memorial Day with anybody. I'm at home. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing anything. So for me,
4th of July.
Okay, but even then, like I'm trying to think about what I did for 4th of July this year, and I can't remember. It was like
must have been a good night if you don't remember. Must have had that bottle of Henny.
No, I didn't. Henny Queen didn't come see me or anything. We weren't partying. Nothing happened. Nothing. Like I don't. Fuck. What did I do for 4th of July? Now you're making me question what the fuck happened for 4th of July. I think I was home.
You got blackout drunk and you don't remember it, dude.
Oh man, no, I just no holiday really compares to me. And no holiday really like it's the only one where I'm like, man, it feels like. I mean, it feels meaningful. You know what I mean? It is sometimes like it's an excuse to not see people. It's like, well, I'll see him at fucking Thanksgiving, whatever. But at the same time, like it's the one time where it's like, let's all put aside whatever differences we have and just come together and just be together, right? Sometimes putting aside those differences doesn't always work out. which is why I'm saying, like, I'm sure there's people who are gonna have wacky
Oh yeah.
wacky interactions and,
This year should be fun.
and shit. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh god. But at the same time, I think for the most part, the idea of Thanksgiving and it just being a kind of the way that we celebrate it, and well, at least the way that I feel like most people probably celebrate it, which is just get together with some family, some friends. I like Friendsgiving or whatever has become a big thing too, where people will get together with their friends. That's a really cool thing too. And that sort of thing just I feel like means a lot. And that means so much more than your everyday kind of going abouts where life is just kind of rushing by you and you're not really thinking about that. Taking at least one day to be like, I'm going to be here and present with the people that hopefully love and care about me the most, is just really impactful to me. So
Well said.
yeah.
Well said.
So, watch me ruin it right now.
Do it.
I don't know how I put myself on the spot with that one.
Just make a dick joke.
And then you stick your dick in the pumpkin pie.
Dude.
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Ruin it. Listen, someone's, it's fucked up. That's my favorite pie. And if I think if you talk about the most fuckable pies, what was that? Did we talk about the guy who made the videos about the most fuckable pasta? We totally did.
Yeah, we did.
I'm waiting for the next set of I hope that he's done a Thanksgiving special where it's like the most fuckable pies. And clearly pecan is at the bottom of the list.
True. I don't want to think about this. Move the fuck on.
You're the one who said say a dick joke.
You said you were going to fuck up. I said make a dick joke, and you made a pie fucking joke.
A dick was involved with that joke, though.
You could have been like, I don't know.
What if you made a pie shaped as a penis?
There you go, dude.
That'd be funny.
There you go. That was really funny.
Was it?
Yeah.
You laughed so hard. You were laughing hysterically.
I'm stifling
I
it.
tell.
I don't want to.
Oh,
laugh.
you're
like
trying to be professional.
if I let it out, it'd be too loud. I'd peak the mic, blow people's speakers.
You know what's funny is I was gonna when we did the way back at the beginning of the episode, I fucked up the intro, and I was like, I did do it right the second time, right? We're at the end. You can tell me.
No,
Oh, you don't know?
Fucked it up again.
Did I? What the fuck? No, I didn't. Fuck you. I believed you for a second. The one thing I kept thinking about throughout the whole episode is like, I can't tell from this camera angle how close that mic is, and it's gonna peak the audio again.
I turned it down a little bit. It should be all right.
All right. Fuck it. Whatever.
This pile of garbage anyway.
This pile of garbage. Oh man, that's the title of the episode. I'm thankful for this pile of garbage.
Love it. Ship it.
Oh shit. All right. Well, we are thankful. I think that I can say with confidence that Kirby and I are both thankful to anybody who listens to this.
You
pile
made
of
it this
garbage.
far. You're a champion.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. And we would love to sit here and chit chat some more, but damn it, we got some fucking Thanksgiving leftovers to eat.
I thought you were gonna say the fuck.
We got some pies to fuck.
See you guys.
I got a pumpkin pie with my name on it, quite literally.
I think that was time well meant.
I have been dialed in to this drama.
Communication is alpha.